All right. Thank you. Thank you so much to those of you joining me live. Glad some of you could make it. Glad you all could make it. And thank you to those of you watching the recording. This is all about how to use Google Analytics to boost your business because we can't call it a marketing strategy if we don't actually measure the results and see what we're getting for our efforts, our investment, whether that investment is in dollars and or in time and energy. So uh, you need Google Analytics at a minimum. It's certainly not the only tool you can use to measure, what people are doing on your website, but it is the most common one. It is also a free one because Google wants you to buy Google Ads and you need to have Google Analytics in order to get Google Ads. So it's kind of the freebie that it gives you in order to get you to spend money on ads. So it doesn't provide all of the information I would like to see on my website, but it's a really good basic tool to give you the bottom line, I think, of what people are doing on your website. So without further ado, let's talk about who the heck I am, why you should care about anything that I have to say. For those of you who know me, you know that I went to school for English and psychology, planned to go into publishing. That didn't work out because I graduated as the job market crashed in 2008. '09 is actually when I graduated. So yeah, that wasn't going to happen. But I did get the perfect degree for content marketing. Lucky me. Had no clue what content marketing was, managed to stumble into it when a family friend offered us, needed someone to write blog posts for his law firm, and offered me the gig because he knew I had a strong writing background. And I was like, what? I can get paid to write? Seriously? Yeah, sign me up. So I jumped at that chance and started writing for him and then for an associate of his and then for some friends of mine. And it went really well. He was able to measure through the writing that I was doing for him that he got $75,000 worth of business to his law firm through the blog posts I was writing for him just in the first 6 months that I was writing for him. So that was my first aha moment of, oh, this is not just, busy work. This is getting real results for his business, but it's only because he was using either Google Analytics or something like it to measure the traffic that was coming to his website and then what people were doing after that, that he could be able to say that what I was doing was getting real results. So that's why this is so important. So why should I care about Google Analytics? It is all about your bottom line, right? Because there's a lot of time and effort. I know from experience that when you are doing your own blogging, SEO, social media, guest blogging, building backlinks, all of the things, it takes a lot of time and you need to know what works and what doesn't. And the best way to determine that is your Google Analytics. So absolutely make sure that you are measuring that. So now that you know why, let's get into the how. Literally, it's as easy as Googling Google Analytics. I think that's literally what I did to sign up. Google is going to make it easy for you to find its products. If you do want the link, it's analytics, I think .withgoogle.com. And right up there in the top right hand corner, you see create an account free of charge because they're not going to charge you for the free stuff. They're going to wait until you pay for ads. Connecting your account. So these are your account details. You got your basic settings, you got your account ID, account name, blah, 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 blah. You're going to need that when you go to your website to connect Google Analytics to your website. So that is right there in your Google Analytics. Your Google Analytics account. So you're going to need that when you go connect it to your website. And then there's, plugins. If you use WordPress, which I do, and I highly recommend that you use WordPress if you are not already using it, just because WordPress is really the only platform where you actually own and control all of your own content. If you read the fine print of the other platforms like Squarespace and Wix, they actually say, oh, by the way, you don't own any of your content. We own all of your content. So that is why I always recommend WordPress over any of those others. And WordPress makes it really easy because it has all the plugins, right? I literally just went to and searched plugins and searched Google Analytics, and you got the Site Kit, you got Monster Insights, you got WooCommerce there if you have an e-commerce site, Google Analytics and Google Shopping. I think mine is Exact Metrics is the one I ended up using for my website. That makes it really easy to connect it to your website, to connect Google Analytics to your website, because then it's literally just, okay, give us your account ID and we'll take care of the rest. See right there, Google Analytics account, put it in, and you're done. It's really easy. Or you can use the Google Tag Manager. That's the other way that you install it. And then it's going to give you this code, and you copy and paste it into your website. You just have to be really, really careful that you are pasting it into the right part of your website. So if you don't have WordPress and you are using something else, I highly, highly recommend someone like a WordPress developer to do this part for you to make sure that the HTML is going in the right part of your website. Because if you put it in the wrong part, you could really screw up your website. So don't do that. And now I have to remember how to get out of screen share. That's not it. Let's see. I know I looked this up. And of course, now I can't remember how it works. All right, hang on one. Sorry, just bear with me one sec. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, you're not having trouble with technology. You're not using it enough. Oh, Miki is here. See, it says just click stop sharing, and I don't see I don't see a stop share button down here.
It might be because your menu is gone. Hit escape once.
Escape.
Did you hide the menu up on top? Your Zoom menu?
Huh, possibly. Nope, that's
Do you
not
have
what I want to do.
multiple screens?
Yes.
It might be on your other screen. At the top, like the top where it's not at the, it's usually not at the bottom. It's the stop share is usually at the top of the screen. And
There we go.
goes.
It was Alt S. It was not, I thought it was Control S. It was Alt S. So for those of you watching, either here and or at home, it's Alt S to just use your keyboard. Okay. So now that that excitement is done, I'm going to share my screen again. We're going to use it a little bit differently this time. Let me go to the right place. All right. And I want to go up here. There we go. Okay. Share screen and screens. And there we go. All right. Can y'all see my screen? Awesome. So this is the dashboard. This is the home when you go into Google Analytics. Also, by the way, getting to Google Analytics is as easy as trying to remember how I got there. Yeah, no, that's not it. Usually if you're logged into like Gmail or your any Google property, there's the little square with the 9 dots right around this area. And you click on it and it gives you like your Google My Business and your Google, all your Google stuff. And then Google Analytics is in there with this icon with the 3 bars that look like a little chart or graph. So that's how you get to it once you are in. But again, it's always as easy as just Googling Google Analytics. And once you're logged in, you're in. So dashboard. This is what it looks like. Just a brief snapshot, quick look at, active users, new users. I always like looking at that, right? Because people are like, well, how much traffic is coming to my website? Yes, traffic is important. There is also like, are you getting new people to your website or are you attracting, just the same old people? Not that there's anything wrong with return users. We do need those people to keep coming back as well. But you also want to make sure you're attracting new users You got the number of events, you got active users in the last 30 minutes is one that was me. That was me looking at my own website before this webinar. So um, recently accessed page, that's all the stuff that I was looking at. Suggested from you, active users by country. This is why I always talk about things like the GDPR, which is actually a data privacy law in Europe. It's an EU law, it's not an American law, but it is the World Wide Web for a reason, right? So yes, you do have to abide by European data privacy laws on your website because as you can see, yes, most of my traffic is coming from the US, but I'm also getting a significant amount of traffic from Russia, India, Pakistan, the UK, Ireland, and even a visitor from Australia.
Yeah,
So
no, why are those people? Because I have a local business and I always get like people from Pakistan and stuff and why
mhm.
are they there. Like I don't understand. If people here can't find me, but they seem to always find me.
Well, I'll be honest, some of them are bad actors.
Yes, I thought. Right, right. Okay.
Not all of them,
Mm.
but I have gotten a significant, for some reason from Poland, I've been getting a lot of spam from Poland. So it's like every time I open up my email, it's like, oh, these are all the blocked, URLs and or IP addresses, and they're all from Poland. It's like I don't know what Poland is doing, but they keep trying to break into my website for some reason. So that is some of it. But there's also, it's the World Wide Web, and sometimes people want to do business with people here in the US, even if they don't live in the US. Some people moved from the US to those other countries. I have actually done business with people in Pakistan, and I think I was just talking to someone in Afghanistan. So yeah, it's the World Wide Web. That is
Okay.
interesting though, since you are local. I'm not. It makes sense for me. Um,
Yeah, it's really strange. I mean, yeah, it's just
yeah, so some of them are bad actors, not all of them.
well, no one
Um,
really has contacted me. It's just I see that they're all looking there. So I'm not
yeah.
getting any sorts of like Nigerian letters or, you know. Yeah, so I don't know what they're doing there. If it's like, is that even a person or is that like just some spam bot or is it like,
It
it just is strange.
it could be a spam bot, yeah, and you might also be getting people reaching out to you. It's just going straight to your spam folder.
Or is it that they're using, if they're using like a privacy thing, is it bouncing off of some other place's server, pretending, looking like it's coming from there? Is that possible?
That is totally
Like
possible.
if they
Yeah.
have a private, the VPN or whatever can show them
Yeah.
coming from somewhere else? Okay, okay.
Yep. So this is obviously just the brief overview, and then oh look, they want me to pay for ads. Um, so you want to dive more deeply into your reports. You go over here to the reports section. Now we get into the nitty gritty. So you've got your, again, report snapshot, shows you a lot of the same stuff you already saw. Oh, and then where people are coming from, which I love seeing. So direct means they had a link, someone emailed it to them, maybe it went out in your newsletter. Somehow they had a direct link to your website. So they clicked the link and that's how they got there. Organic social means someone was posting about you on social media. They clicked the link, they got to your website. Organic search, that's what we love seeing, right? You are showing up in searches and people are finding their way to your website from those searches. And then referral is someone else provided a link to your website on their website. That's what we call a backlink. So they were referred to your website from that other website. So good to keep track of all those. Where are people coming from? Activity over time, right? So are people spending more time on your website overall or less time? That's the amount of activity. We're going to get in a little bit, we're going to talk about the amount of time spent on your website. Um, let's see, that's really all I wanted to talk about here. Some of the like pages people are spending time on, we will go over. And again, user acquisition, we can get more into the weeds. um, Total users, again, new users. Are you getting new people to your website? Are you getting the same old people to your website, return in users? Average engagement time per active user. That's always good to look at to see how much time people are spending on your website. And if they're spending more time on your website via, direct and organic search, like that makes sense because they're actively looking for you versus organic social. I'll click through. I'll see, no, actually, I'm not interested in this. I'll click away. Referral, maybe they clicked on your link by accident. That happens too. But organic search and direct is more intentional. So it makes sense that we're seeing a little higher dwell time there. Um, Traffic acquisition is a lot of the same stuff. And then user acquisition cohorts, also a lot of the same stuff. So now we go over to engagement and the overview again. Average engagement per user, engaged sessions, average engagement. So you can look at all of this as well as, again, the top pages people are looking at. Top is my fiction. That's actually not good. That's something I put up just for fun. I think because my coach at the time told me to, and I don't know if I like that there's all that traffic going to that website. I might have to disconnect them. Event count. So, how many times are people coming to your website? And again, by name. So there's page view, there's engagement, there's how many people started a session, for how many people is this their first visit, how many people clicked through on something. And again, a lot of those pages are the same. Home, contact, about, Google Analytics. That's because you can see all the visitors to Google Analytics because I was promoting this webinar. So people went to that page to get more information about it and to register. And then user stickiness. How much are people sticking around? We can get a little more into that once we get over to events. We see how much time people are spending on here. Pages and screens. So you've got, and that looks like I have a 404. So this is actually good to show you guys, like when you go to these things in your Google Analytics, it's good to know that you have a 404. That means you have an old link or page that doesn't work anymore. Maybe you deleted it. Maybe you changed it without using a redirect. So people are clicking on a link and it's taking them nowhere, and that's a really bad user experience. So you want to be aware of these things so that you can address them and make sure that people are having a good user experience. Otherwise, again, we're looking at number of views, number of active users, views per active user. One view is obviously not bad, but we want to get up. The 1.4 is good. And then the amount of time they're spending. I actually was looking not too long ago. Earlier today, I was looking and found one. How long was it? Because, there we go. 5 minutes and 41 seconds on how to create your brain voice guidelines. So people do spend more time on longer content. It does. When the content is good enough and it's relevant, they will stick around. So
Now you can only see what country they're from, right? Can you see a state or a town, or you can just see?
I don't think you can see states or towns.
Okay.
That would be
You can do that
helpful,
with
though,
your
wouldn't it?
own what?
That would be helpful, though, wouldn't it?
But people can do that with their own website, right? Like if you pay
Yes.
extra. Okay, okay, that's what I thought.
And you can also, if you do decide to go for Google Ads, you can make sure that people, you can target people in certain
Okay.
very specific geographic locations.
Okay.
Landing pages, right? These are all the landing pages people are spending the most time on. Always good to know that people are looking at my portfolio, at my webinars, my Content Marketing Academy, which is new and I've been promoting a lot, so it makes sense that people are going there. Monetization, again, that's not what I meant to click. Overview, there we go. So this one it's not relevant to me because I don't sell directly on my website. So of course, all of my monetization is going to say 0, but I am going to show you in case you do have e-commerce on your website and maybe you are selling stuff directly off of your website. It's good to get an idea of, what's your total revenue, your purchase revenue, your total ad revenue, right? Especially if you are paying for ads and then selling directly off your website, you want to make sure that you're getting a return on that investment. Total purchasers, as well as, again, first-time purchasers, average purchase revenue per active user. That's really important, again, especially if you are paying for ads. If the average amount that people are spending when they get to your website is less than what you're spending for a click on Google Ads, that's something to keep in mind. So obviously you can feel free to explore this. Oh, and then there are coupons. If those are a thing that you do, that is a good thing to keep track of as well. How many people are actually using that coupon? Is it, again, getting a return on investment? Are people interested in it? Items by name, item list name, all that good stuff you can look at. And then down here, we have retention. So again, we talked about returning users versus new users. This is where we get to see lots of new users come in, few returning users, and then user engagement, user retention by cohort. And then average 20-day value again is going to be 0 because I don't sell off my website. So none of that is surprising. Explore, we can go over, oh, that's right, I was looking at my funnel. So you can create your new exploration. You can freeform. I love funnel exploration. That's why it's right there. That's what I was looking at because I love seeing the funnel. How, not only how are people getting to my website, but what are they doing, especially once they get to my website. Especially since I have a B2B business. So sometimes it takes a while. I usually am engaging with clients and prospects for months, if not years, before they decide to become a client. So always good to look at these things. So you can have a segment by the country, by how they find you, whether it's direct traffic or paid traffic, mobile or tablet, dimensions, event name, gender, country, device category, all these things. You can have a standard funnel. You can decide which steps you want to track, whether it's, is it just the first or the open visit? Is it when they start a session? Is it a screen view or a page view, all the way to a purchase? Which again, is a little hard for me. I think for me, instead of purchase, it would be more like, filling out, it would be either going to the contact page or filling out the form. And then breakdown by device category, all that fun stuff. So there's a lot you can do here depending on what makes sense for you, your business, your audience. Is it, a super short buyer journey? Is it a longer buyer journey? All that good stuff. And then again, I don't use ads, but there is a whole section on advertising where you can get started and have fun with that. But again, I don't do Google Ads, so there's nothing to see here. So now I can stop share. That's it. That's all that I have for you. If you have any questions, this is the time to ask. I am going to stop the recording. So for those of you watching the recording, please reach out to me if you have any questions at all. I do love geeking out about this stuff. So all of that is in the video description.